Hello, everybody. You all know who I am. I wanted to make a video today because a lot of people start traveling. So let's start with, we're going to start with a suitcase, and then I'll talk about a little bit about safety in your wheelchair and the things that you need to add to your wheelchair when you are, if you're bringing your own wheelchair, then we'll talk about that as well. All right. So suitcase. Suitcase, it's not recommended that you put bows on it or straps on it so that, that you'll be able to see it. We'll talk about other methods that you can use. Now, I used all my bright tags, but the tag that you put on your suitcase can be unique, can be bright colored, and it is no longer recommended you put your address on the outside of your suitcase, okay? So this one only shows your name. So that's all that should be showing. So all my bright tags, I used them already in other suitcases, but this is a good example. This is what I use. So they are rubbery, they're flexible, so that they don't break, and they're pretty durable until the material, I guess, dries up at some point. But yeah, so this will work, and it also comes with the metal screw-on type attachment. Let's call it that. Sometimes my words just go. So anyway, or also you can put some fun stickers on your suitcase instead of the straps, instead of the bows. And the problem with the straps and the bows is they can get caught in the machinery, and that can, delay things for everybody. So, so you want to make sure that no straps, no bows that can get caught in the system when it's picking up the suitcase or it's spitting it out. You don't want to get it caught. So use these or some bright, fun stickers that you put on one end or the other of the suitcase, or both ends. So it doesn't matter which side it is posted. But also, your suitcase will stand out. Some people just, they're tired, they're distracted, and they grab your suitcase, not realizing that it's not theirs. So you can say, sir, that's my suitcase, thank you. And then your name will be right there. You'll say, see, my suitcase. All right, so that's a good way. So no straps or bows, and to do something bright on your suitcase, like patches, or you can do stickers, and you can get these. All of these, you can get them at a good price on Amazon. Amazon has not asked me to promote any of these items, so there'll be a few more coming up. Now, if you want to put a lock on your suitcase, you can. If you're traveling in the United States, you can put a lock, but it has to be TSA approved. So just make sure that you look up some good locks that you're comfortable with, and they are TSA approved. Because otherwise, the TSA will say, please take off that lock, and we'll take that for you and throw it in the garbage. So they want access to your suitcase. Obviously, the checked-in is what we're talking about. All right, so other things that you should take with you when you are traveling to the airport. This is all made of plastic, but this is a good thing to have because if you need to back up in a very congested airport, this is going to help you absolutely back up safely. You don't want to run over somebody unintentionally. So this is you just put it on your hand or on your arm. My arm is very small, so So I just put it on my hand and I look backwards to make sure nobody's there. I'm not going to run over anybody, everybody, no, and nobody. So, and this is all, it's safe, it's made out of plastic, so it won't set off any alarms or anything. So this is to look behind you to make sure there's nobody there. So that is really important. And also you can get it on Amazon. So again, Amazon is not asking me to promote these items. The other thing you can do that's important is to put your identification on your wheelchair. To be very clear with the people who are helping you onto the plane and the people who are handling your power or manual wheelchair, that you absolutely need that wheelchair at the door of the plane when you get out. No exceptions. So no goofiness, no sending it down to the luggage area, nothing. At the door of the airplane. Now, American Airlines has a different tags now for wheelchairs, and that tag will indicate to the workers that they need to bring it to the door of the plane. No exceptions. So you also verbally need to say, I need my wheelchair at the door of the plane when I'm getting off, no exceptions. So, but for the wheelchair, you have to have your name and everything. They'll give you a tag, and you fill it out. I would fill out my own as well, and put it in the pouch of the wheelchair. So put it in the pouch of the wheelchair, or also you can hook one on one of your arms. If that allows. I think power wheelchairs allow it more. But I would use one of these, for the power wheelchair as well, and screw it on. But also you need to leave the instructions of how to handle the power wheelchair. I made a sheet, and it's in the pouch of the wheelchair, to bring I take off the headrest. For sure, I leave that home because there's just no need to take the headrest for me. So I just leave the headrest home, but I make sure that the tag is still attached to the wheelchair, to the arms of the wheelchairs. Down below, there's some rings underneath your armrest, and you can attach it to that so it doesn't come off. But instructions on the name, the serial number, everything that will identify this power wheelchair, and instructions for those who will be handling your power wheelchair. You can also ask them, please keep the wheels off. Do not use the joystick. So, some people have used the joystick, broken the joystick, and that really gets me mad. So I just show them how to unengage the wheels from the wheelchair so they can just push it back and forth. And that's all that I want them to do. So that's really important. And instructions, just simple instructions, nothing complicated for them. Just ask them to, if it's a power wheelchair, to team lift the wheelchair. Not just one or two people. Team, either 4 to 6 people to lift your power wheelchair. Mine is pretty heavy. There are some power wheelchairs that are very light and foldable, and they fold up into a little tiny thing. Obviously, they won't need to team lift that power wheelchair, but mine weighs 200 and some pounds plus myself. But it weighs over 200 pounds. So I'm asking them to please team lift my power wheelchair. Do not put it on its side. All those details that we know already. So instructions, detailed, simple instructions on how to handle your power wheelchair, how to turn it off, how to turn it on, how to disconnect the cable down below, all those simple things. And it needs to be simple because they're in a hurry and they have to load a whole bunch of luggage plus your wheelchair. So But I think this is a really important item because when the airport is so full, you have to back up because you went to McDonald's to pick something up, and now you have to back up because of XYZ situation. This will save you a ton because you don't want to run over somebody and then have an issue at the airport. So, so I would recommend this mirror. Very helpful. Um, keep your wheelchair just stripped. Take your own pillow or cushion that you use on the seat, take it with you. Anything that's loose on your power wheelchair or manual wheelchair, take it off, take it with you. So bring a little bag that you can put everything in there. And, they're very helpful on the airlines to take your carry-on for you and take anything else that needs to come onto the airplane with you. They're very helpful because they know you have to transfer from your manual or power wheelchair onto the aisle chair and get seated. So they've been very helpful for me when I've gone on and off. I haven't had an incident yet. No, I did have one. And I think I shared that one. Coming out of the plane, I had gotten home, so I was home already, but the person in the back dropped me, and it was very painful. I didn't even want to speak to that person. She had to wheel me down to the luggage area. I was so mad, and I was exhausted, so I didn't really want to engage, and I was just shut down because of the pain. So that's one of the things that I don't know how to deal with that yet. They're still dropping us, but they dropped the back part of my wheelchair when they were trying to get over to the corridor, and I couldn't believe it, because there's been so much announcement, so much complaining about the dropping of people and other ridiculous things they've done. So now the DOT has some pretty high fines if they find that any of this has happened. And I called right when I got home. I called. I know you're not supposed to leave the airport, blah, blah, blah. But I came home and I called them. And I said, what the heck? What was this? And so I talked about, the strain, getting home. Not so much going, they were just fine and helped me out. I did not bring my wheelchair because it's expensive and I wasn't going to take the risk. So, unfortunately. And one guy kind of got a little rough with me. Said, why didn't you bring your wheelchair? It's like, you know how much my wheelchair costs? Take a guess. And do you think from that cost, I'm going to give you my wheelchair to handle it? No. Because you've broken how many wheelchairs in a year? How many? So he couldn't answer any of those. And I said, well, there you go. That's why I won't give you my expensive wheelchair to you. So I was crabby. But anyway, do everything you can to write out instructions, simple instructions for the people to handle your wheelchair with pictures, all that kind of stuff, so they can handle it and not say, oh, we didn't know. So that's always the excuse. We don't know. We didn't know. So, so really, truly, instructions on how to handle your power wheelchair, your manual wheelchair in the back, in your name, even though you're going to be filling out a special tag. No, actually, they're doing it electronically. A lot of airlines now, American Airlines is doing it electronically so that they can just scan the tag and it shows up, and it shows up, please always bring this wheelchair to the door, or absolutely bring it to the door, or there's an order to bring this wheelchair to the door of the plane, and no excuses. So they can't say, oh, we couldn't read the tag of the last person, so we just threw it down with the luggage. So now I'm going to get ahead of myself for 2025, 2026. that there's a high possibility that we will be able to drive on to the airplane and park our wheelchairs within the cabin, and we'll be able to ride the plane in, in our wheelchairs. So I don't know how this is going to be addressed, but I think that in moments of emergencies, I think that we need to start thinking ahead and start thinking about purchasing an emergency sling or a lift sling to put underneath us when we do this. When we are able, once we are able to ride onto the plane, park our wheelchairs and strap them down, I think that we absolutely need to be sitting on a lift sling, so that if an emergency does happen, that the staff just has to come, pick us up, and out the door we go. So I would want to put that on us. I don't even know how the staff would deal with all these wheelchair users and not having an emergency lift sling. So I'm going to put this in here up above. So I'm really recommending that we all be sitting on a sling when we go into the aircraft with our wheelchairs finally, so that, you know, an emergency does happen, we're ready, and the staff can just pick us up and go. So so that's what I'm recommending, that we think ahead, so that if we need to be removed, then we're ready. I don't know. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to post some examples of slings so you can think of, and I think for any situation, you're going on a train, you're going on a long trip, that you have a sling. I don't see any contradiction to that. So think of purchasing a sling. I mean, not right now, but but down the road. And if you're thinking, or the moment comes where we can just drive onto the aircraft, that you are sitting on a sling, that you're ready, you have it. And if the staff comes up, like they came up to me and said, don't worry, we'll be here for you. If there's any incidences, we'll come and help you. I'm like, how are they going to take me off the plane? By the time they figure out how to pick me up and how to get me out of the plane, we will have crashed. So I thought that doesn't make sense. So I thought, for myself, I'm going to purchase a sling that I can put under me so that it's there. And, if the staff says we'll pick you up, we'll take you out, then that makes sense. Then I am ready. And the sling is there. 4 people can pick me up, or, 2 people. Oh, no, it has to be 4. And they can take me out, no problem. So I'm putting out the recommendation that we all think ahead. And if you are a person who flies, and, that moment comes, that you are ready, and that the staff says, we'll help you out in the moment of an emergency, they can, because you have the sling. Anyway, that's what I'll put in here. So we're still working through those bumps, but it's really important. I think American Airlines has made some good moves in making sure they get things right the first time. Other airlines are still working on getting things out of the bumps. So we have to be vocal. We have to be everything in writing. So that, typed up, can't be in writing, because then they can say, we didn't understand the person's writing. So everything typed up, instructions, your name, and what identifies you, their phone number, so they can call you if there's any questions. Let's see what else. I can't think of anything else. If you have a suggestion on, traveling through the airport with your power or manual wheelchair, please put it down below, because I think these things help. And it is a time where we're all traveling a lot, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. So the more information we can give, the more important it is, and the more helpful it will be. So, sorry, I'm trying to get into the right position here. So, think about the things that have been helpful for you in your travels and are good salad suggestions. So, you do not have to tip any people who are going with you or are helping you with a wheelchair or with your wheelchair. So you don't have to tip them. That's really important. That's an understanding between the airport and the people who come to assist us. Ask a lot of questions. Anything that's been helpful to you, again, put it down below. All right, people, be good and kind to everyone out there. And if you, for the holidays, want to give me a gift and subscribe, that would be awesome. Or like, or share, or comment down below asking any kind of questions, or making sure you share what's been helpful for you when you're going through the airports. All right, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.